Alright guys, we are back here for round 3 with Fierce Amulet. We are currently 1-1, so we're trying to move along quite steadily here. Yeah, I don't have much else to say for this intro other than if you're interested in the details of the deck, go ahead and check out match 1. And let's just jump straight into the games. Seems like we have our match. Yes, we definitely want to play first here. We have the mainboard engineer explosives coming to haunt us. That said, I don't mind this hand. It's going to be a little situational, but again, I think that Explore kind of digs us out of this situation a little bit, and that we'll get a little bit of ramp, get a little bit deeper to find more of what we are looking for. We have a way to stall with the Radiant Fountain, and that's going to become even better if we find a bounce land, and then we have an Engineered Explosives to interact if the Explosives is good. So I'm going to keep it. Could be wrong. Definitely leaning on Tolaria West here. Get this tap source out of the way. I don't know how good it would have been, but I suppose there's some merit to leading on explosives on 1. Well, it's a Flooded Strand deck, so I'm not sure that this explosive is going to be particularly relevant. On the other hand, Explorer is quite great against a Flooded Strand deck in general, so you just want to let this Explorer resolve. I will wait patiently. And it resolves. Alright, I guess we're getting this breeding pool in play. I was planning on just going ahead and rolling out the Garen Brig there, or potentially Radiant Fountain, but I think getting a second blue source in play for potential Tolaria West shenanigans is going to be a good move, so we see a Hallowed Fountain, not a surprise. Ooh, is this Bant? Interesting. So we could be running into a mana leak here. They only play like 2 mana leaks, but regardless, I don't love jamming into it. We kind of need to speed up our Titan at all costs, though, if I'm being completely honest. I think I'm willing to play into it because it's very possible, or maybe even likely, that they don't have the mana leak, so... Yep, and we'll get this Snow Force out there. We don't want to show them that we have access to Titan mana already, because as far as they know, we may not even be able to cast a Titan this upcoming turn, so... Snake, you got it. This is 3 other snow permanents, right? So, they currently can't Death Touch their Ice Fang Quaddle. Are they trying to play Uro here? That will not work out very well for them if that is their plan. Also, this explosives might actually turn to be quite useful. I can put it on 2 and blow up all these Ice Fang Quaddles if it becomes a problem. Maybe I should already have played it on 2, actually. Well, that Uro is not going to stay in the graveyard for much too long. I don't know if just snapping off the Bajuka Bog is going to be the best thing from this Titan. Although, in order to cast it, we do have to play the Garenbrig first anyways. So, I think maybe getting Feel the Dead and Valakut is going to be the play here. Might as well tap like this. Here's Titan. I don't know if the Bajuka Bog is important for this exact turn, although it may become difficult to resolve a Primeval Titan in the future, depending on what kind of answers they have. And in which case we will want to have the Bajuka Bog more so than not. Or they just concede. That's a quick concession. I guess it makes sense in a matchup that can come down to time. So we want our trackers. We want Baloths. Carnage Tyrant. Probably not Elder Scale Worm. I don't think it does anything relevant. We want Beast Withins for sure to hit their Planeswalkers. What else? Dismembers I'm not sure. I don't mind the explosives. Ice-Fang Coatl is quite problematic, actually. Maybe I don't want Baloths in order to kind of play around Ice-Fang Coatl. I'm not sure, though. Coatl definitely puts us in a weird spot, because we want to be able to pressure Planeswalkers and whatnot, and also have additional threats to cast that aren't Primeval Titan. But if they just get eaten up by Ice-Fang Coatl, then it's not really great for us, and the life gain doesn't really matter on Baloth. So maybe I'm going to skip on Baloth, but obviously the Tyrant is good. The Empaths can peck for 1 at something like an Ashiok, so they might have to trade an Ice-Fang Coatl for an Empath, so I definitely like that. You can trim probably 2 Summoners packs. The Stirrings, most likely. Maybe even an Amulet, I'm not sure. We want all the Explorers. I don't love explosives. I'm going to go ahead and cut it. And I guess maybe 1 Amulet. Nah, 1 Grazer is probably better. I think Amulet has a more unique effect. And we'll run it back like this. Alright. This hand is kind of similar to the last one, but it does not have an Explorer to help speed it up again. I don't know if we can afford to keep this. It also has the Stronghold in the opener, which is kind of a liability against Field of Ruin. I mean, Beast Within's not bad, though. We have an answer to Ashiok already on deck. But no speed at all. We do need to get in underneath Planeswalkers and, like, Uro and whatnot. I don't know, though. I'm gonna mulligan. I think we can do better. This is much better. We have the Carnage Tyrant in our hand, which is not really how we drew it up, but I'm not going to complain about it. We can definitely get this Vesuva out of here. You know, this is much better, I think. Still need to draw a little bit of business, but at least we have a little bit of acceleration, so. It's ya boy. We're over here playing Beast Tribal today. Although, Carnage Tyrant seems to be a dinosaur and not a beast, so. I thought one of them was a beast. No, it's definitely a dinosaur. Maybe the worm is a beast? I don't know if anybody cares about this, but I care a little bit. Where'd he go? There he is. Nope, worm. Should have anticipated that one. There's a Dryad. Am I jamming into Mana Leak again? I think that I am. Go get him, Dryad. Alright. That's what we love to see. So if we play the Forest and top deck an Amulet, then we still have a Titan. But if we don't have the Amulet, then Sanctuary will let us Titan or Carnage Tyrant or whatever next turn. So I guess I'm playing the Sanctuary. And we'll pass it back. We got a snake. Okay. It's really fortunate for us that they have had these non-snowlands thus far. Do they have an Ashiok here? That's one thing I'm curious to know. If they have an Ashiok, I might be... Well, they had nothing. I'm a little worried of walking into Supreme Verdict here, although they may have cited some amount of Supreme Verdicts out. So I'm not really sure. I think we probably just want to jam this Carnage Tyrant. We also don't want to attack, because that we would be attacking into a potential second Coatl. But I'm gonna need to deal with these Coatls somehow. If I attack and if they block and play a second Coatl, I can beast within the other Coatl they didn't block with and eat up the first Coatl, and that actually seems pretty good to me. So I'm going to go ahead and serve with the Dryad, because I don't mind waiting on this Carnage Tyrant anyways. No blocks. Alright. Yeah, I guess we're slamming Carnage Tyrant. I mean, it can't be countered. Now I am worried about this Death Touch on the Coatl, though. What is this? Did they try to counter it? Oh, they drew 2 cards. Okay. And they also are not set up with Verdict mana over there, so... Interesting. I'd like to draw a Valakut. That is not a Valakut deck. Can't really complain. Might as well play a land out, I guess. I think I'll probably hold the Vesuva in hand. I don't know if that makes any sense, actually. Maybe I'll play it out on the Growth Chamber so that if we happen to draw a Tolaria West, we'll be able to transmute it. Okay. So I'm feeling that there's another Coatl potentially incoming, and if they're not gonna... Alright, here I'm definitely just gonna beast within their Coatl. Maybe it's greedy, but... have to assume this is a counterspell of some sort. Yep, Cryptic. Sure. Well, they still take 6 damage. They're at 5. Yeah, we'll get another Growth Chamber out here. Pick up the Radiant Fountain, I suppose. Although, to be honest, I guess we could have picked up the Sanctuary here and still been able to transmute and had access to a bounce land. That might have been fine. Missed the Sanctuary, probably to put Cryptic on top. Okay. Astrolabe go. I wonder what they were tapping so much mana for before. I guess we're going to find out. Ashiok. So they do have the Ashiok. They're very clearly holding up Path here. Interesting that they chose to do that rather than to hold up Cryptic. They hit our Slayer Stronghold. Of note. Yeah, we'll search. We can search from their spells and abilities, but not from our own. Speaking of our own spells and abilities. Hello. I mean, there's no way this is going to be good. Like, they're just going to Cryptic bounce it at the worst. So, maybe I should have just let the Ice Fang Coatl go. We'll play our Radiant Fountain too, I suppose. I mean, they know we have it, so there's no point in holding it up. We gotta put him on top just because there's gonna be a Cryptic command no matter what we do here. We probably have already lost here, I'm not gonna lie. Oh, well that makes them minus their Ashiok. They hit several Simic growth chambers there. Interesting. Yeah, things are looking grim. Razor. Alright, I'm gonna give this one to him. I think that one is quite over. Let's look at our sideboard. We definitely, I think, want to be more threat heavy than anything else. So I think having the Balos is going to be fine. Elder Scale Worm seems too slow. I don't really mind Dismember, although it's really annoying to deal just Coatls. Instead, I guess I'm going to keep the explosives. We can definitely trim on a Grazer. Let's see what else. The Fierce Empath seem good. We properly sideboarded in Beast Within's against Ashiok, so that's good. We probably can cut one of these lands. I'm not sure which, though. I guess just a Sanctuary. That seems fine, I guess. I don't expect anything like Damping Sphere, though, so maybe a Castle Gambrig is a better shave. Because we'll be naturally hitting our land drops, so we don't need to worry about the speeding effect of the Gambrig, most likely. I don't love Azusa. Well, I didn't really mean to just cut it there, but I don't really love Azusa. It's possible that siding her out is going to be correct. I guess just an amulet. I think Azusa is probably fine. Maybe in another land. I don't mind siding out another Garenbrig, but that seems like a little bit much. I'll go with a Sanctuary, I suppose. And we'll go like this. Now we have more live draws. Answers to some Coatls. Yes, we'll play first. This hand is interesting. I think I like it. I'll keep. Because we've got some ramp slash threats, because the Dryad serves as a threat as well. We've got an answer to Ashiok, and we have Explore for some card draw, so seems like pretty much what we're looking for. I'm going to lead on Talari West, then probably Shock, Breeding Pool, and Explore. This hand is quite looking for Titan. I've got to go get the light. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. Sorry for the disturbance, although I suppose for you guys it won't have been much of a disturbance. I can't believe, after all of that, they're still trying to decide on their 7. They said thinking in the chat here. I mean, I don't mind if they need to take some time to think on a opening hand. I've definitely done the same myself, but... And they keep. We'll play our Talari West and pass. Ooh, Amulet's a pretty good draw here. I think we want to play that one and play Growth Chamber into Explore. Just because we can get all of this stuff out and in the open here while we are safe from counter magic, so. Would be cool to be able to transmute Talari West here, but we don't really need access to that since we have all of our blue mana available already, so. This upcoming turn, there'll be a question of whether or not we transmute for a bounce land. Because, I mean, it also depends on what we draw, right? If we draw naturally a bounce land or some kind of land, or even like a Garenbrig or something, then it'll probably make more sense to play a Zusa or a Dryad. But if we don't draw a land, then transmuting Tolario for a bounce land might be the right play. We could also transmute for a cavern. That way we can force through our Dryad or something. Well, that's complicated because now we have the land. And this is a good time to get something like a Dryad or a Zusa into play because next turn they'll have Archmage's Charm up. Weird spot. We could also hold up Beast Within. But I don't know if that's going to be very effective. And we kind of want this Tolario to find a cavern now that we have actual Primeval Titan in our hands. Instead of like a Summer's Patch or something. So I guess I'm going to play out one of our 3-drops. We can always transmute this upcoming turn. So we'll play Dryad. Again, I'm not playing around Mana Leak because I don't think there's a point in doing so. They only play like 2. Better to jam into it. Looks like they do have it this time, but... Yep, there's the Mana Leak. We will not pay regretfully. There's our forest, and we'll pass it back. Now if they jam Ashiok, it could be a bit of a problem, because we'll be caught between wanting to answer the Ashiok and wanting to... well, I mean, we can't transmute Tolario with an Ashiok in play, but... Engineered Explosives. Not really my favorite one. And again, right now, if we were to transmute for Cavern, we'd either have to play it and hope to top deck a land next turn in order to cast our Titan and expose the Cavern to field, or do nothing. I could see maybe playing Explosives on 2 and passing, although they're a ways away from Ice Fang Quaddle being relevant. I think we're just forced to jam Azusa here. I'd rather them have to counter something, potentially, than steal our amulet or draw 2 cards with an Archmage's Charm, so... It seems like they're unsure of what they want to do here. I mean, getting this Azusa into play is not really doing much for us, in all honesty. It would be much better if we happened to top deck, like a bounce land, but as of right now, it's kind of just a 3-mana 1/2, which is the problem with Azusa and matchups like this. This is why I don't usually like Azusa, is because what are we doing with it? It's just a 3-mana 1/2. We don't have any lands to play. You know, if they counter it, like, they might even just ignore it, to be honest. And they choose to counter it, which is actually a great trade for us. I guess I'm passing back. There might be some argument to playing out the Tolario in case we do top deck a land, but I don't think I'm jamming Titan just naked into counter magic, so... But the reason why we would play T-West there, so we can go ahead and get an Engineered Explosives in play. Putting Archmage's Charm on top. Okay. I'd like to draw any land here. Alright, that is a land. So here, we're going to use this turn to transmute our Tolario for a cavern, and we're going to play the forest. And then we'll have a Titan set up for this upcoming turn. Obviously can't play Explosives on 2, despite our 2 open mana, because they'd both be green mana. So, not really ideal there. I mean, let's be honest. Drawing a land there was pretty ideal, although the fact that it was one of the basics is a little frustrating, because now a single field and a single path will run us out of basics. Here's Ashiok, most likely. Yep. This card is quite annoying. They are milling us. Seems bad. Seems bad. They hit Sunhome and Ghost Quarter of note. And they're now only one snow permanent away from their Ice Fang having Death Touch. Grazer. Not the best. If this were a Tribe Scout, he'd be able to clock the Ashiok, potentially. But I think now we actually just have to Beast Within the Ashiok. I don't really love to do it, but because right now the Beast Within would be running straight into a Force of Negation, but the only cards they have up right now are Mana Leak and Dovin's Veto. So Force of Negation costing them 2 cards is probably better than not. I also don't love it, but we could run out the Cavern of Souls to have 3 mana to pay for a Mana Leak, so that they would have to have Force of Negation, otherwise this Ashiok gets out of play. But in all honesty, if the Ashiok stays in play, we're going to lose anyways. So I'm just going to go ahead and straight away Beast Within this guy. Doesn't feel the greatest, but I think it's going to prove to be the best outcome. So, and now we could play Explosives on 0 to get rid of their Beast, but I think we don't really care about the Beast. Aether Gust. That one can go on top, I suppose. I think we are going to go ahead and deploy our Explosives on 2 here. Putting Aether Gust on top is not the best of news for us. I wouldn't be surprised to see them mill away our Beast Within as well with their Ashiok. Which is sort of win, I guess, because we'll be able to take another counter off of it. Hit one of our Baylofts. And the Selesnya Sanctuary, which I suppose is relevant. I mean, I guess we're slamming a Titan. We don't really have much of an alternative here. Here he is. Spectacular as he may be. Yeah, you got an Ice Fang, bud. That's fine. I guess they're drawing the Aether Gust. I mean, he's going right back on top. Might as well force them to mill. And I think we want to go ahead and possibly blow up these Ice Fangs. I don't know if there's a point in waiting. I'm going to go ahead and do it now, just so that we have all of our mana available to us. I'll probably just pick the Growth Chamber itself back up, so that we have access to a bounce land as well. We could also protect the cavern. I think picking up the cavern is going to be better here. We could top deck. Let's say they mill away. I think they already milled our Carnage Tyrant, right? Or was that the other game? I don't know. Guess not. So we could top deck, say, a Carnage Tyrant or Obstinate Baloth or something, or a Tireless Tracker that we'd want to make uncounterable, and then be in a better position that way. Or we could draw a Beast Within. Well, they have all of their mana up, so we're going to pass back for the time being. I guess we don't want to F6 here in case they decide to start casting things. They hit our Sun Home as well, so being able to get rid of all these Ice Fang Quaddles is definitely a good thing. I don't know if we fire off the Beast Within here or not. I feel like we don't. We need to wait until we have an actual threat to deal with this Ashiok. So Archmage's trying to draw 2. Yeah, actually, we'll go ahead and hit the Ashiok now. This is the best time I foresee us being able to manage to cast this beast within. This way it forces them to crack their fetch as well. Man, getting an Archmage's Charm out of this is actually really good news. Prevented them from getting their 2-for-1. They're still at semi-parity. Obviously, they have an Ashiok in play, but it's only at 2 now, so... We still have a Baloth. We still have 3 Titans. We still have all of our Empaths and our Carnage Tyrant. We still have the 2 Tireless Trackers as well, so... I mean, we've got stuff to go on here. Jace. That is quite annoying. Alright, we need to top deck a threat ASAP. I don't even know what the best threat would be. Probably Fierce Empath. As weird as that seems. They have a field too, so protecting the cavern definitely is a play that worked out. I like this tracker. I don't think we can afford to make it uncounterable. I think we have to get the card draw out of it, so... I'm just going to go ahead and jam it. Again, we're only running into like Mana Leak here, and we can even play around that, so this way we get... I don't know what the name here. I guess Giant. This way we get a clue out of our land drop, which is going to be way more important than trying to play around any particular kind of counterspell, so... I guess we could go ahead and crack it now. I don't see a reason not to. Beast Within. Let's go after this Jace, I think. Don't want this tracker getting bounced and encountered on the way back down. Actually, because of that, maybe I should have played the Cavern on human. Hey, we got the Jace. Okay. Passing back. Here's a path. They're clocking us with the beast, of course. Fierce Empath. Love to see it. Sadly, we did not name Elf. So... Oh, wait, we can't actually search with it, but that's okay. We need to put something in front of this Ashiok, I guess, or at least give them a reason to not attack with their beast. Or maybe they'll counter it, not realizing that we can't search, and that works for me too. Yep. That is totally fine. I don't think we're playing the Grazer just yet. And we have no basics to find, because they milled one of them. I don't know. Maybe I should have Beast Within the Ashiok instead of the Jace. We'll pass back. Still being as patient as possible with this Grazer. If we drew a field, we still would not be able to trigger it, unfortunately. Speaking of fields. That's not the one I was talking about, opponent. Come on. Get the memo. Not this one. This one sucks. Vesuva. That one's kind of an awkward one. Guess we could Vesuva their Field of Ruin. I'm okay with this, I suppose. This might force them to use their field, or not. This way we can cut off a Mystic Sanctuary loop, so that's pretty good. We are about to be dead to the very attacker that we changed their Jace into. Jace found himself to be quite the animal inside, and we're still losing to him. Explore. I'll take it, I'll take it. Fierce Empath. Maybe they'll counter it again. I don't know if I can bet on that, though. I kind of don't want to play it. I'm going to go ahead and get this Grazer out there. Nope. And we'll pass it back. I don't know what kind of universe we would be able to get rid of their Ashiok before playing this Fierce Empath. I guess we'd have to draw, like, the third beast within. We have 1 in exile and 2 in our graveyard, so that's literally impossible. We'll block, I guess. Come on. He was afraid of Jace the Beast Sculptor. Something good. Another Vesuva. Huh. It's not particularly great. Let's copy their Hallowed Fountain, I suppose, so that we can cast an Engineered Explosives on 3. And I will pass back. They could just be like, end of turn Snapcaster plus Ice Fang Coatl, and then just attack for lethal. That would suck. I'm also thinking that if we blow this Field of Ruin, I don't think we get to search for a basic because of Ashiok. I mean, we don't have any basics to search for anyways, but... Alright, something good. Something good. That's not gonna do it. So I guess we're playing our Fierce Empath to block. And they're gonna counter it anyways. Alright. Yep. Good games, opponent. Yeah, I find the Bant match to be quite difficult. So, I wonder what was upcoming. Magic Online says, no freaking way, dude. You can't see what would have been on the way. So, yeah. Well, that was the match. Definitely a weird one. Definitely a weird one. And, I mean, as you can see, I have all the Beasts Withins. I have the Carnage Tyrant, which is not usually in my sideboard in the first place. Does not matter. The Bant matchup is quite difficult. A lot of it is specifically due to the card Ashiok. But even so, even without Ashiok, I think it would still be somewhat difficult. Like, we had it all there, man. We had Cavernous Souls, we had the early ramp, we had the Carnage Tyrant, we drew several Beasts Withins to answer their Planeswalkers. We had Engineered Explosives to answer the Icefang Coatls. We literally had it all, and we still just could not get there. So, yeah, that matchup is definitely a very difficult one, in my opinion. A lot of people say that the control matchup should be a good matchup for Titan, but I haven't necessarily found that to be true, to be honest. So, anyways, if you guys have any suggestions on how to improve that matchup, or just general tips or advice, things that I should or shouldn't play around, then I'm definitely game for learning those strategies. I actually think that the control matchup is one where the third Talari West would shine quite a bit, because if you top deck it late, you can just go and grab your Field of Dead and play it. If you have it early, you can get a Cavernous Hold and set up a Titan a little earlier than your opponent is expecting you to play one, and a little bit more solidly on the ground. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we need something like Mystical Dispute for that matchup, although I don't really think that would help that particularly much. I don't know, maybe it would. But yeah, I guess that's it for now. This is Red Face Menace, signing off.